Hey, what's up? We're back. Jumping right back into this best ball draft. Gonna win some money today. Got the third pick. Feeling good. This is gonna start up in about 1 minute. So while we're waiting for that, let me just show you this little best ball playoff matchup tool thing that I made, and that's available for free in the description. Go ahead and grab yourself that. Study it up. All the highlighted games there in the blue, those are all dome games happening in the best ball playoffs. Now, 8 of the 10 highest scored games over the last 10 years have happened in a dome during those weeks. So it is something to pay attention to. And, we're real early in this video, but let me just give you one little quick tip. The other 2 games that were not played in a dome, that were part of those 10 highest scoring games during week 15, 16, and 17 over the last 10 years, happened between the Ravens and the Bengals, who happen to play in week 17. So that's a matchup we definitely have our eye on. Not for every draft, but, maybe sometimes, depending when it fits. That's definitely one for highlighting. But, check this out. This is a nice little thing here. And like I said, it is available for free in the description. We're starting right up. We'll see if they're going to take Bijan or Gibbs or, Bijan. No big surprise. Now, also, guys, a lot of times I notice some of you guys like to hang out and see who I'm going to take in the first round, but that doesn't tell you anything, all right? Now, I've been going running back heavy in the first round a lot, but you know what? I'm just going to grab up Chase. I'm going to grab up Chase right here. I don't have super high exposure to Chase yet. Burrow's going to be back this year. Burrow missed 10 games last year, and Chase still finished, I think, as wide receiver 3 in best ball. So, he's got what it takes. We all know he's got what it takes. But anyway, what I was saying before was a lot of times some of you guys just hang out, see who I take in the first round or 2, and then you skip out. But that's really not going to help you. That's not going to help you much because, first of all, I'm not going to tell you anything about Jamar Chase that you don't already know. But second of all, I've already done hundreds of drafts. I've played a lot with strategy and with different techniques and different builds. And, a lot of times, right here, I took Jamar Chase in the first round. I didn't particularly do that to correlate with anything later yet, although I'll probably take that into consideration as I'm building the rest of my team, of course. But a lot of times in these first couple of rounds, I'm taking guys just to be different. I'm taking guys because I have lower exposure to them. I'm taking guys because of who I know is available later on in the draft. So if you're just paying attention to the first pick or 2, you're really not getting any value from these videos. The real value comes from the later rounds. The later rounds where I have many players who are identified that are going to smash that everybody else just does not know about. Well, some people know about some guys, but you know what? I was planning on starting this channel. I did a lot of research. I always do a lot of research every year. Shows in my best ball results, but this year I did extra. I knew I was going to start this channel. It's a brand new channel. Like and subscribe. But you know what? I did not slack off at all. I did so much rookie scouting. I am so far ahead of the field when it comes to rookies. It is ridiculous, and that's where you're going to get most of your value. Besides the free tools and the free everything that I give you guys on a regular basis. I just showed you the week 15 through 17 playoff matchup tool. But there's plenty more tools coming. I've got other ones. I've got a best ball playoff environment rankings analyzer, which breaks down every single team and their playoff schedule, how likely they are to smash and stuff like that. That's not exactly dialed in perfectly yet. I am using it myself already. I have been for the last 20, 25 drafts or so, but I'm still dialing it in. I'm still perfecting it. I'm still making sure that, it works exactly how I want it to work before I give it to you guys. All right. So let's see what's going on here. No big surprises. Jefferson went 7th. That's pretty high, if you ask me, for a guy on a team with a bad offensive line with the shortest quarterback ever. I don't know if Murray's really the shortest quarterback ever, but he's got to be one of. Can't see over the offensive line. I know that. All right. Like I said, no big surprises so far. No one did anything crazy. You know what? I kind of like it when people do crazy stuff in drafts with me because then, they're just pushing down more value to me. And I'm selfish like that. I don't care. I really do not care how well other people are building their team. I only care how well I'm building my teams. And, this is going to be a little bit of a draft marathon today. We're going to do a couple drafts in a row. Coming right up on my second round pick. And people are way down on Neighbors. I wonder if I can get him in the third round. He's going 31. Oh, yeah, I should. Let's see. Well, according to ADP, I should be able to get him there. Of course, a lot of people know that his value is really higher than that. So some people are, I've seen him go in the first round. I mean, people are a little bit worried about the second surgery scar tissue cleanup news, but it's not new news. It's just being newly reported. People that have been following the situation have known about this. It's not any new details. He was never 100% going to play in week 1. It was up in the air the entire time, and literally nothing has changed. Let's see here. I'm going to grab myself Kyron and his number 1 offensive line. I guarantee you Kyron produces more than at least a few of these running backs that got taken before him. There goes Bowers. Now, if I do take Neighbors here in the third, I'm going to be pretty weak at running back, which is okay with me because it's a little bit contrarian to how I've been building the majority of my teams. I really like robust running back. I like hammering the running backs early this year, and I like it a lot. But you can't build all your teams the same. You need some variation. You need some outs. You need some roads to week 17, just in case things don't happen exactly the way you think that they're going to happen. Let's see. Now I could take Pickens. Yeah, I'm not going to take Neighbors. I like Neighbors a lot, but with Pickens sitting here, I got to take Pickens. I expect him to be healthy for the majority of the year. And, and he is on that level. I don't know if he's quite on Malik Neighbors' level, but he's pretty close. Definitely up there. Top level wide receiver in the league. He's, he does obviously have competition with CD Lamb for receptions, but I don't think it is a huge problem. He really produced big time last year. All right, so this guy, Badger 503, took Josh Allen. Okay, Josh Allen is the elite quarterback, so you can't get mad at anybody. But when you took Love the round before, who is a total, it's a crap shot. You don't know what you're getting with him. I mean, he's a talented player, but he's on a crappy team with, surrounded by crappy players. Is he really going to perform better than Kyron Williams, better than Quinshon Judkins? We'll see. It's possible. I mean, he's a very talented player. I think he hurdles way too much, personally. I mean, the guy is always hitting the triangle button in Madden. Every time someone tries to tackle him, he tries to jump over them. And it worked a lot in college. There was a lot of inferior athletes, and he was able to make them look foolish. And I'm sure he's going to be able to do it occasionally in the NFL as well, but I'm telling you, he's got to spin, he's got to juke, he's got to do something else. He's not going to be able to hurdle people like that every play in the NFL, or at least not even close to the amount of plays that he did it in college. All right, so I'm a little bit disappointed that no one's doing anything ridiculous yet. I mean, there's a couple questionable picks, but no one has done anything that's going to push some value down to me and make my team a little bit more unique than I would normally be able to do. So we're just going to have to beat them the old-fashioned way. We're going to beat them. We're going to beat them out by just knowing more about them, by knowing more about our playoff schedules, by knowing more about emerging players, year 2 and year 3 players who are ready, poised, and positioned to step up, make a huge impact in the NFL this year. Just going to have to outdraft everybody. No problem. That's what we're trying to do anyways. Every draft. Winning every draft. So, now let's take a peek at our playoff chart here. Boom. We got Cincinnati, who plays. Cincinnati plays the Panthers in Week 15. Cincinnati plays the Colts in Week 16. And Cincinnati plays the Ravens in Week 17. There's that game that I was talking about I got to make sure I get some Ravens on this team now that I took Jamar Chase. Okay, so and then we also have the Rams and we have the Cowboys. So looking around, the Cowboys and the Rams play each other in Week 15. I didn't do that on purpose, but that works out. I don't really target for Week 15, but when it happens, that's all right. Okay, I mean it's good. You need to make it up to at least Week 16 to make any kind of money, really. Oh, but really you need to make it to Week 17 to make your season worth it. Okay, and we're coming right up on us again. Pick 46 is coming up close. Oh, we got... do I take Lamar? Ooh. Or do I... Oh, actually, I should take Burrow if he's there. I could probably take Burrow around the turn. Try to do that. Let's get ourselves a running back. We need some running back depth before we get way too thin there. Let's see what we got here. We could go Scatabo. Oh, man. It's getting thin. I like Scatabo more than Bucky Irving. I still feel a little bit weak at running back. We're gonna have to really take care of that in the middle rounds. I think that now that I have Chase and Pickens, I'm really gonna fade wide receiver for a little while. I do feel pretty confident about some rookies and stuff later on in the draft that I can get really good value on. So I think I'm going to, unless I don't want to speak too early here. You never know if I could get extreme value. Well, this guy took Lamar and Burrow. Okay, all right. Well, I guess I'm not taking those guys. That's fine. That guy's out, not making the playoffs. Thanks, buddy. Now I'm competing against 10 people instead of 11. Appreciate you, pal. All right. And you know what? Let's take Bucky Irvin. Oh, what's that? Yeah, whatever. All right, come on, take him. We're taking him. Take a peek at this. Yeah, healthy for training camp. We're good. But you know what? The reason why I don't love Bucky Irving that much is because I really like Kenneth Gainwell. I know people kind of view Gainwell as a backup running back, but let me tell you, the guy's got hands and he's got heart. And when you got hands and you got heart, and you're playing with Baker Mayfield on the Buccaneers, you're just going to be involved. So I actually like Gainwell a lot more than Irving, especially considering I can get Gainwell much later. But I really needed to secure some solid running back play because I went so strong on wide receiver in those first 3 rounds, which again is not exactly my style normally. Not this year. There's been years in the past where I have loved hammering wide receivers early. Not so much last year. I would say the year before that, I really was loving hammering those wide receivers early. Last year, you really needed earlier running backs, and I was, for the most part, ahead of that. This year, I think that the biggest difference maker, I think running back is still going to be important, but I think that that tight end is going to be your biggest difference maker. You're really going to want Bowers, McBride, Loveland, Tyler Warren, possibly a few guys get mixed in there. Isaiah Likely from the Giants, Mark Andrews maybe, Kelsey possibly. I don't think Kelsey and Andrews are really difference makers, but you really need to separate yourself with tight end because a lot of people are going to be carrying 7 and 8 point weeks every week in their tight end spot. So if you can secure some real solid scores in your tight end spot every week, especially as the NFL is evolving now to more of a 2 tight end, 1 wide receiver kind of strategy. A lot of teams are doing it. It's not just the Ravens anymore. Many teams are doing this strategy. A lot of teams, not only are they trying to bolster the run game with that extra tight end, but they're trying to use the tight end as a weapon as well. And if you can really differentiate yourself with the right tight ends, that's what's going to win. Excuse me. That's what's going to win somebody best ball this year. Okay, there goes Dak Prescott to the Lamb drafter. Okay, so we got one. He's stacking at least. We got this guy in the number 1 spot that took Jackson and Burrow. Has no wide receivers. He's not even that strong at running back either. I mean, I really don't know what this Fighting Irish guy is thinking. Sorry, buddy. I mean, you're gonna have a good score in your quarterback spot every week. It's only 1 spot, bro. 2 running back spots, 3 wide receiver spots, flex spot, and your 1 tight end spot. And you're worried about the 1 quarterback spot, doubling up on it in the first 5 rounds, where there is the most value, where you're relying on your draft picks the most. You're going to double up on a position while you completely have ignored 2 other positions. To each his own. I mean, sometimes that kind of strategy can work. I'm not saying it's totally invalid and it can never work. That's just too much value allocated to the quarterback position too early. Pick 70 is coming right up. Oh, wow. Is Tyler Warren going to fall to me at 70? I'm taking him if he does. I was just saying how tight ends are the difference maker this year, and I love me some Tyler Warren. I actually think Tyler Warren has a better year than Colston Loveland. Oh, there he goes. All right. Good pick, Ravens. He was way past the ADP, though. That was an obvious pick for anybody. I don't know how he fell so far. That's just ridiculous. These guys must not have been paying very much attention last year, because Tyler Warren was a monster for the majority of the year, basically until Daniel Jones got hurt. On the clock, last guy took out Pierce. Good pick. There's not going to be a tight end here that I want. Nope. Let's take DK. I know I said I was going to fade the wide receivers, but I don't have great value in anything else right now. This guy took another quarterback. You're done, dude. There's no chance. I was kind of joking before when I said you're missing the playoffs, but now you're officially missing the playoffs. You have absolutely no chance. You just threw your money in the pot. Thank you, sir. All right. Now, I think I'm just going to scoop up Caleb Williams. I don't have any other Bears on this. No, that's going to be a bad pick. It's going to be a bad pick. I don't want Caleb Williams. Let's take Stevenson. Now, I love Caleb Williams. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that Caleb Williams is a bad pick in best ball. That's not what I meant. I just meant because I have no Bears. I have no Dunze. I have no Burden. I have no Loveland. And if Caleb Williams ends up being the quarterback that you need to get into the playoffs or to advance in the playoffs or whatever, you're not going to get as far as you want to with naked Caleb, because somebody else is going to have Caleb and a Dunze and Burden and Loveland. And when Caleb Williams throws those 5 touchdowns, which is why you needed him, 3 of them are going to go to one of those guys. Other people are going to have them on their team. You're not. And you basically are just shoehorning you're cock blocking yourself right out of contention by taking a naked quarterback. Sometimes, not always. Now, if it's a quarterback with rushing upside, maybe a Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jackson Dart, etc., you can get away with your naked quarterback, because maybe it's their rushing upside, which is the reason why you needed them. Which in that case, you do not need their target partners. So, and while Caleb Williams can run a little bit, I think that you really need his weapons. You need his weapons. Like this guy took him. He's got Loveland. It's better than nothing. I really like to take Caleb Williams when I draft Luther Burden. And then when I draft Luther Burden, I usually try to get a Dunze too. And, I've got a couple teams with all 3 of those guys, with Burden, Dunze, and Loveland, and Caleb. So, whatever. Just got to build up those stacks, mix those teams, get your exposures, etc. Now, this team is really going to be, it's solid so far. I don't love this team. It's not my favorite team that I've drafted so far, but really it's the end of the draft that determines on how well the draft goes. In most drafts, I would say 19 out of 20 drafts, I'm way ahead of the field when it comes to knowledge of backup players and rookies coming into the league and second year and third year players. But occasionally there's a few other people in the draft that are targeting the same guys that I'm targeting and kind of screw me over a little bit towards the end. I do have enough of them to where I can never totally get screwed. But, like a team like this, where I have 3 wide receivers, 4 running backs, I know that I have to find a way to get a couple quarterbacks here coming up soon. And I also know I have to get some tight ends. But really, I need to, and I also need at least another running back pretty soon, because there's not nearly as many running backs, in my opinion. There's not nearly as many running backs towards the end of the draft as there are wide receivers. I mean, there was a ridiculous amount of wide receivers drafted in the first 3 rounds of the actual NFL draft. And that just goes to tell you how good the NFL teams think that these players are that they're drafting. And if you're drafting a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds, doesn't mean that they're definitely going to pan out. But it definitely means that the team that drafted them is hoping that they are going to be a big part of the offense. There's just no reason to draft a wide receiver in the top 3 if you plan on utilizing him for blocking or to be your 5th wide receiver or something like that. You are at least hoping, these NFL teams are at least hoping that they got a player to contribute to their offense when they took a wide receiver in the top 3 rounds. And there were a lot of them. Okay. And looking through, there's a lot of really good players left on the board. And you know what? I'm going to take all these cues. They put out all these cues that are totally meaningless right now. Tucker Kraft should be back by training camp. You know what? I'm taking Fannin. I'm taking a shot on the Brown. I know that they've got quarterback uncertainty, and they've got 3 different quarterbacks who could potentially be the starting quarterback. But, when it comes to some of the weapons, Fannin and Denzel Boston, Casey Concepcion. I see now. Let's just see if this worked. If this worked exactly how I was hoping it would work. See here at pick number 94, I was considering taking Jackson Dart because I already have Scadaboo, and like I said, he does have that rushing upside. I almost took him at 94, but because this bonehead already took 3 quarterbacks, I was pretty sure he wasn't going to take a quarterback. And then I was just kind of taking a shot that one other guy wasn't going to. He didn't. So that's how you get a little extra value. But then again, I could have taken Dart here, and then I probably could have got Fannin here as well, and there wouldn't have been any difference. But you just never know how it's going to play out. And if you can get the same player a little bit later, and you have a reason to believe that you're actually going to be able to pull that off, it's just better strategy to get that player a little bit later. Now, so for example, in my opinion, if I draft someone in the first couple of rounds, I'm relying on them just about every week. The further down the list we go, okay, the less weeks I'm counting on them for. Now, if they want to come through and contribute big time, a lot of weeks, love it, please do. But what I'm saying is, as we get down here towards the middle of the draft, you can almost take away the lowest 4, 5, 7 games even away from their average game or average fantasy points per game, because you don't care about their average fantasy points per game for all 17 weeks, especially not if you're taking them in the second half of the draft. You only care about spike weeks. You only care about them sneaking into your lineup when your other guys are on bye, or when your stud players that you're relying on are having a down week. So if you're taking someone in the 12th round, you really do not care about their 17-week average, okay? It just does not matter. So you can go ahead and you can remove their lowest 4, 5, 6, 7 games, come up with a new average, and that will give you a better idea of how valuable players are going to be that you can take later on in the draft. And you can just take that and do what you want to do with it. But I'm telling you right now, I'm working on an advanced system that utilizes that. And I think it's going to give me quite a big advantage. But I don't think you necessarily need a tool. You just kind of need to understand the concept in your head. The later on in the draft that you're drafting, the less weeks that you are relying on them for. So say there's a guy in the 16th round, and he's got a very low average score per week. But I see that last year he had 3 games over 20 points. What that tells me is this guy, he might not be a huge part of his offense, but when he gets a chance, he can contribute. And if he can do that again, if he can come through with 3 20-point weeks, that is all I care about. Now, if you had one player who scored 3 20-point weeks and had very low scores all the rest of the weeks, they're going to have under 10 points per week average. But then there's other players who had under 10 points per week average. But you know what? They were more consistently crappy. And they consistently scored 5, 6, 7 points every week. And their 7 points a week is a true 7 points a week. Do you understand the difference between these two types of players that I'm describing right now? I mean, that's a really huge concept to understand when we're trying to break down our best bets for best ball strategy. Okay, you can't just look and say here that Jackson Dart scored 17 points a week. Okay, that's great. Now he is my quarterback 1, so I am relying on him most weeks. He does have a pretty solid floor. That's part of the reason. But look at this. Week 2, week 3, point 3. He had no passes attempt. Russell Wilson started those games. These weeks should not count against his average. Okay, his fantasy points per game should be significantly higher than that. Even though that's only 2 weeks, if we get a little bit farther down in the draft, there'll be other examples of that where players come through big time, part time. All right, and that's okay for best ball. If this was a redraft league, if you were counting on a guy, if you had to worry about who to start, who to sit, and all that, that totally changes the equation. But considering, best ball works differently, we don't have to think about that kind of thing. So we need to think about other things instead. We need to think about how we shape the analytics, how we shape the data to better serve us, to show us more than what it's showing everybody else, okay? All right, so looking through. Aaron Jones is here. Tyrone Tracy is there. I can get Tracy later if I wanted him. Downs. Could go Kelsey. I already have Jackson Dart. So I'm going to take likely before someone else. These guys over here, especially this guy in the 1 hole, seems to not care much about his own team. He might be a sniper. He might be a guy just trying to screw over other people. He actually got a couple of decent wide receivers here. No number 1 guy, but he's doing all right for a guy that started with no wide receivers. Now, I need another quarterback before all the decent ones go by. I'm going to scoop up Baker Mayfield right here. Now, I have both of my quarterbacks stacked with a running back. Well, not only Dart, I have likely as well. But Dart, I have Scattaboo, and Mayfield, I have Bucky Irving. Now, that's not optimal. Obviously, there's a much better chance that your quarterback's going to throw touchdown passes to wide receivers and tight ends. But here's the thing. If, say, Baker Mayfield does throw 2 touchdown passes to Bucky Irving in the playoffs, that could be the stack that you need. That could be how you differentiate yourself, because other people are building stacks with Mayfield and Igbuka, with Mayfield and Tez Johnson, with Mayfield and Hurst the rookie, with Mayfield and all his weapons. But I feel like the combination of Bucky Irving and Mayfield is going to be a little bit lower owned, and if I can squeeze this team into the playoffs, it could be a beneficial stack. Now, earlier in this draft, after I took Chase and Pickens, I kind of decided out loud. I told you guys that I'm probably going to fade wide receivers for a while. Then I ended up taking DK Metcalf because I didn't really love the value of anyone else right here in the 6th round. But the reality is we only have 3 wide receivers. I'm still going to wait another round or 2, I believe, and then I'm just going to finish this draft out with all wide receivers, because I'm telling you, there's a ton of really good value at the end. You should really pay attention to what I'm saying when I'm scooping up these guys in the last 5 or 6 rounds of this draft. Okay, so we have some Giants pieces. The Giants play the Cowboys in Week 17. I've got Pickens for that matchup. I've got Chase, and I've got no Ravens. I would really like a Raven or two for that Week 17 matchup with Chase. I've got a real nice Week 17 stack with the Giants and the Cowboys. Take another look here at this chart, which is available for free down in the description. Check that out. I already told you guys, but those ones in blue are the games in a dome. Giants and Cowboys playing a dome Week 17. Nice. Okay. All right. 142 is going to be the next pick. Let's see what's going on here. There goes Casey Concepcion. I like Concepcion, but he's an example of one of the few guys that the field does know about, and they think that he's going to be a top 3 rookie wide receiver. As someone who scouted all the rookie wide receivers and not just the ones that that Mel Kiper told you to look at, there's a chance. He's got a chance to be a top receiver, but I don't think that he is going to be even the best rookie wide receiver on his own team. I mean, they also drafted Denzel Boston. Don't assume that because they took Casey Concepcion before Denzel Boston that Concepcion is definitely a better player, because I'm telling you right now, he's not definitely a better player. I mean, he might be, but in my opinion, Denzel Boston has a better chance of being a breakout rookie wide receiver than Casey Concepcion does. Okay, so pick 142, coming right up. See what we got here. Could snag up my 3rd quarterback if I want to do that. If I don't, that's going to be real slim pickings. I should be able to wait until around the corner at least. I've got someone in mind here, a little bit ahead of ADP, but it is well worth it in my opinion. There goes Daniel Jones. I was kind of hoping I could get Daniel Jones in the 13th round. Couldn't, but that's fine. But what I can do is I could take Jonah Coleman right here, stud rookie running back from the Broncos. I know a lot of people are scared to take him because they have J.K. Dobbins. They've got Harvey. But listen, Coleman is a better runner than both of those guys. It's not even debatable. He is going to, maybe they start him out as running back 3. He is going to earn a spot as running back 2, if not running back 1, very quickly. Mark my words. There is no debating this. If he doesn't get hurt, he is going to play, and he is going to play a lot. And I'm going to take Ferguson. I'm going to take that 2nd tight end and also further beef up that Week 17 matchup with the Giants and the Cowboys. Ferguson is a solid tight end anyways. He has potential to bust out and score a touchdown or 2 any week. A lot of people sleep on him because they've got some other weapons over there. Pickens and CeeDee Lamb get all the attention. Ferguson is just running free sometimes. I will take those red zone targets. I will take those weeks because he is going to have some good weeks. I mean, not that he's an elite tight end, but, we got 1, 2, 3 weeks over 20 points. Another one with 16, another one with 17. Pretty solid. I mean, he's got a lot of low weeks here as well. So we've got 5 running backs. 5 running backs usually is like my minimum. I do build teams with 4 running backs occasionally. But usually when I stop at 5, it's because I took 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds, which I did not do this time. So I may want 1 more running back, possibly. I think I'm going to wait on quarterback, and I'm going to either just roll with 2 quarterbacks on this team, or I do have a flyer, a chance guy, a guy who might not play, but if he does play, could be a difference maker, and I do want to sprinkle him in a little bit here and there. I might take my my sleeper quarterback a little bit later in this draft, or I might just stick with Baker and Dart. I mean, those guys are pretty solid. They both have solid floors. They both have high ceilings. I think that they can get me through. And also this year, I'm not sure what the major difference is this year. It must be influencers and people like me and other people doing drafts telling you to do it. But this year it seems a lot more common that every single team is trying to get 3 quarterbacks in every single draft. Now, I get it. It's definitely advantageous to have 3 quarterbacks a lot of times, and I have historically advanced more teams with 3 quarterbacks into the playoffs, and I advanced them into the next week of the playoffs more often when I had 3 quarterback teams. But here's the thing. That was when a lot of teams were rolling with 2 quarterbacks and 1 quarterback. Now, with everyone drafting 3 quarterbacks, I don't know that 3 quarterbacks is definitely the way to go. I think that the optimal team will likely have 2 quarterbacks on it. You hit on the 2 right guys, and then you just have an extra depth piece for another position. And if you take the top quarterback, and this guy is scoring 25 plus points every week, 30 points a lot of weeks, and then you take 2 more quarterbacks later, and they're decent, but they never outscore your first quarterback. That was just 2 wasted picks. I mean, I guess one of them might fill in for your bye week, but that's it. Okay, so next on the clock, 166. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Samson right here. I know that a lot of people like Quinshon Judkins, but you know what? The guy got hurt last year. I don't think that it's a guarantee that he's going to be 100% to start the season. And even if Judkins is 100% to start the season, I think that him and Samson are going to be sharing the ball. So I like that pick. And now with 6 running backs, I am officially done at running back. We need to really start targeting some wide receivers. There are plenty of rookies available. If Denzel Boston doesn't get taken before my next pick, I will take him. If Denzel Boston does get taken, I will take Stribling. I like both of these rookie wide receivers. I'm not sure. You know what? Stribling might have a better year only because he's in a much better situation on the 49ers. But Boston is a more talented player. Very, very tricky. I've got a little bit more Boston than Stribling. I'm gonna grab Stribling, especially since I already have a couple of Browns on this team, and we're not trying to beef up the Browns that much. I mean, there's only so many Browns you can take on your team before you just forfeit, right? I mean, seriously. I mean, you can't take that many Browns, you can't take that many Dolphins, you can't take that many Vikings. You just can't. You're gonna lose. Now, each of those teams has one or two guys that are going to be solid because there's a few other options, and they're getting a little bit more of the share, and they're actually producing a little bit. It's not enough. But you just can't hammer it home. You can't hammer home stacking up the worst teams in the league. It's just not going to work out for you. Ever. I mean, I can't say ever, but usually. You just have much better chances picking players from competitive teams that are going to score a lot of points. It only makes sense. Looking through. So I only have 3 wide receivers, but they're strong. Well, at least the top 2 are very strong. Metcalf. We'll see what happens this year with Aaron Rodgers. He could be in store for a big year. Who knows? Tua in the 15th round. Interesting. Has Penix gone yet? Because I like Penix to play more. I mean, I'm not taking him. I'm not drafting Penix. Like I said, I'm either going 2 quarterbacks in this draft, or if other people snipe the rookies that I want, or too many of them, and we get into the last round or 2, and I'm running a little low, I may grab my sleeper backup quarterback that I'm trying to keep secret here, but I have already let the cat out of the bag a couple of times. So some of you guys might know exactly who I'm talking about. Maybe you don't. Maybe you think it's crazy, but I'm telling you right now, it's not crazy. Now, it's a long shot for sure because he might not even play at all. But if he does play, very good chance that he is quite a difference maker. All right. Coming up, 190 is going to be the next pick. 190. Got 4 quarterback drafter over here. Prescott, Stafford, Brissett, and Mendoza. Kind of a perfect example of what I was talking about before. You got Dak Prescott and Matthew Stafford. Is Mendoza ever really going to get into this lineup? If he does, you should have just not drafted those guys earlier, right? Should have just rolled with Mendoza if he's gonna outplay the #1 quarterback from last year and Dak Prescott. Just doesn't make sense. You're eliminating your own chances, lowering your probability of winning. What did you do, you ask, that lowered your probability of winning? You didn't think. You didn't use good strategy. That's what you did. Bad job. I disapprove. You suck. You're going to lose. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. The guy in the #1 slot's definitely going to lose. But, okay. I'm going to grab me Ted Hurst to go with Baker Mayfield. Perfect little stack up. Ted Hurst went to Georgia State, big body, possession wide receiver. I think he's 6'4" or 6'5". He's kind of the same body style as Mike Evans. Mike Evans is gone. We'll just see how much Baker Mayfield likes throwing to Ted Hurst. I think he's going to like it a lot. Hopefully this guy doesn't take he didn't. Nice. And now we're going to do it again. Last time we took Hurst to stack up with Mayfield. This time we're taking Malachi Fields to stack up with Dart. Malachi Fields could be one of the best picks in all of best ball. Also, another big body wide receiver. The thing that he's got going for him is that Malik Neighbors' health is in concern. It's just we're not sure if Malik Neighbors is going to play for week 1. Like I was saying, that's been known the whole time. But here's the thing. He's either going to play and not going to be 100%. He's going to be out there playing like a decoy. If they're going to have 2 wide receivers out there, it's going to be Fields. The Giants are going to roll in big tight end sets. They're going to be out there with Theo Johnson and Isaiah Likely almost every single play. You keep that, you think about that, think about how the Giants are going to play with a fullback, how the Giants plan on playing with 2 running backs. That just doesn't leave many spots on the field for wide receivers to be out there, all right? So the Giants are going to be in 1 and 2 wide receiver sets most of the time. If they're in a 1 wide receiver set, it's usually going to be Malik Neighbors when he's healthy. If he's not healthy, it's probably going to be Malachi Fields. And if it's a 2 wide receiver set, it's going to be Malachi Fields and Malik Neighbors out there. Malachi Fields is going to be in contention for Rookie of the Year. You heard it here first. I'm telling you. The guy was a stud at Notre Dame. And don't forget who played at Notre Dame. That's where Love went. Remember the first running back who got taken in the real NFL draft? That's where Love went. That's where Price went, the running back that the Seahawks took. Both of those guys, really good running backs. Notre Dame leaned on the running game. They didn't use Malachi Fields that much. Malachi Fields only played for Notre Dame for 1 year. If you look at before that, he played for Virginia. And in Virginia, they used him a little bit more. He had a little bit more of an expansive route tree. He was running more routes. He was looking a little bit more dominating. Can't hold it against Malachi Fields that he was just in a really good offense with a really solid run game and a really good run blocking offensive line. None of that is his fault. He still produced. His tape still is disgusting, and that was in limited opportunities. So I'm telling you, he's gonna get his chances with the Giants, and he is going to capitalize. You guys are going to wish you took Malachi Fields. coming up on 214. Before we know it, it's going to be here. So I kind of like the idea of going after one of Josh Allen's weapons, either Keon Coleman or isn't there? Oh, someone must have already taken Skylar Bell. Okay, well let's just take Keon Coleman. I think that at least for a couple weeks throughout the season, he will be Josh Allen's receiver of the week. You know, we all know how Josh Allen likes to throw to a different guy every week. I mean, of course, this year it's going to be more. What's his name that they brought in there from Chicago? But DJ Moore. But he ain't going to throw to him every week. That's just not how Josh Allen rolls. Josh Allen likes to pick a new guy every week. And, you know, Keon Coleman has shown us before it can be him. He has put up a couple of big-time weeks. I mean, most of his other weeks he's done nothing. But that's exactly what I mean. You're taking a guy here in the 18th round. I don't care how often he produces. I only care that he has the capability to produce a few weeks because that's all I need him for. Okay? Okay, so now, looking through. And you know what? Because I'm going to go 2 quarterbacks on this team, I'm going to go 4 tight ends. I'm taking Theo Johnson to further beef up that giant stack for Week 17. Stacking him up with Dart. Stacking him up against Pickens for Week 17. Now, let me show you something right here. Right here, between round 15 and round 18, I won this draft. Okay? Between rounds 15 and round 18, I have 3 wide receivers. I'm not counting Keon Coleman. These 3 wide receivers are all going to produce big time. They're going to produce more than wide receivers in some of these other guys' starting slots. Theo Johnson, people are sleeping on him because they got Isaiah Likely, okay? That doesn't mean Theo Johnson isn't going to play. Theo Johnson's still going to be on the field almost every single play. They're going to be rolling 2 tight end sets. So Theo Johnson is still valuable. And he has great value in the 19th or 20th round because everyone is sleeping on him, like I said, because of Isaiah Likely. Doesn't matter. Theo Johnson is going to produce just as much as he did last year, if not even more, with Likely on the team. The offense is going to be better. Period. Now, with my 20th pick, I already know who I want if he's going to be there. I already have Baker Mayfield. And I happen to know that there is another Baker Mayfield weapon out here. Oh, there's Skylar Bell. I was thinking of taking him. Maybe I'll take him if my other guy isn't around. But there's someone. Where are you, my man? Did you already get taken? Really? Oh, no. Here we go. Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson was a rookie last year. Played very solid. Had some amazing catches. Built up some chemistry with Baker Mayfield. Now, because they took Ted Hurst, people are forgetting about Tez Johnson. But let me tell you, Big Mike Evans left. He's gone. Okay? That leaves a large void. A void that Ted Hurst is not going to be able to fill. A void that Tez Johnson is not going to be able to fill. It's going to be spread around. So there's going to be weeks where Ted Hurst and Tez Johnson have very good weeks. I'm feeling really good that Tez Johnson is still going to be here in the 20th when I pick. I've been able to get him in the 20th a lot. If he does get taken, I will take Skylar Bell. But it looks like we're pretty good here. Let's see who else these guys are taking. Left me my guy. Thank you. All right, so let's take Tez Johnson to wrap up the team, our 20th round pick. So, for wide receivers, we've got Chase and Pickens and Metcalf. Solid start. Then we took some rookie flyers here on Stribling and Hurst and Fields. These are 3 of my favorite rookies in the entire class. They are going to produce. These are guys that you guys should be targeting. You should be drafting. Make sure you get good value on them. And I took Malachi Fields a little bit ahead of ADP to fit my stack. But you know what? Once we get past this 15th round and we're in the 16th and beyond, ADP does not matter at all anymore. It does not matter if I took Malachi Fields in the 16th round or the 19th round. At this point, at the end of the draft, you're trying to identify what other holes the other teams in your draft need to fill. You're filling your own holes. You're trying to play defense a little bit. You're trying to be aware of who other guys are going to take, who they're not going to take, who you can get a little bit later, so you can maximize your value. There is a lot of value left at the end of the draft, and there's a lot of people who think there isn't. Let's look at a couple of examples here. This guy here ended the draft with Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson, okay? Now, chances are one of those guys is going to play in Cleveland, but it is not 100% chance, okay? It's not. This guy obviously thinks it is, but he might not be. He is obviously not familiar with Taylon Green, the rookie quarterback that they took out of Arkansas, who has a very good chance of beating both of these guys out for the starting job, I'd say halfway through the year. Halfway through the year, Taylon Green is probably going to be the starting quarterback for the Browns. And don't look now, but he's probably the franchise quarterback going forward over Watson and Sanders, okay? This guy also took Ray Davis. He took Mike Washington. Mike Washington's a decent pick. Singleton is a decent pick. This guy ended it with a couple of dart throws. Okay, now, all right, we'll look at another guy. Who else did really poorly at the end of the draft here? Man, a lot of guys. See, this is what I mean. People at the top of the draft, people know what they're talking about. Down here is where you can really win, where you can really dominate your draft. This is where I just won this draft. I don't feel great about making it to week 17 in this one. Maybe we'll see what happens. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I do feel pretty good about at least squeaking into the playoffs. Excuse me. Woo. Protein shake burps. All right. Well, there we go. We just won another draft. It's not my favorite draft ever, but it did go pretty well. Like I said, check out that free playoff matchup tool in the description. If you got any value from this video at all, like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. This is a brand new channel. I'm trying to grow it from scratch, and I'm giving you guys tons of value. I'm making sure of it. I am going above and beyond to make sure I bring the value. You can start now by downloading that playoff matchup tool, and I will see you next time. I'm gonna jump in, do another Millionaire Maker draft here in just a couple of minutes.